Hello everyone, this is Dawn over at Plot Chronicles. I just listened to a really good Freida McFadden book. I want to tell you about it. It's called Do You Remember? Let's get started. Now, I do get the Freida McFadden books through the Libby app, which they are all on audio. So I haven't read the books except for a couple that I have, but I've listened to them on audio. I kind of enjoy listening to some books and reading others. I kind of like a balance, okay? Some people prefer one over the other, and it depends on many factors, time, for example. But it's called Do You Remember? It is about a girl named Tess. So I'll take you at the beginning of the story, and I won't do any spoilers, okay? So Tess is, talking to her fiance. She's totally in love with this guy, and she's in bed, and, all of a sudden she wakes up, and she's in bed with somebody else that she doesn't even know. And the guy's claiming to be her husband, and she looks in the mirror and she looks a little bit older. Maybe she's got a little gray around her temples, things like that. She's like, what? I don't understand. Anyway, so this guy's claiming to be her husband, and, she's like, well, what happened to my fiance? I was engaged. And he said, don't you remember, you broke up with him several years ago. We've been married now 4 years. And she didn't understand, and he said, you were in an accident, and every day when you wake up, you don't remember the day before. So it's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of a movie with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. I think it's called 50 First Dates. It was a really good movie. It reminds me of that in a little ways, but obviously this is a thriller and has a lot of mysteries and things to it. Well, she also has a dog in the story, a golden retriever, and I think I may have shared this. I took a dog personality test that said I was a golden retriever. Does that surprise any of you? But anyway, so this dog is just lovable and adorable, but the dog doesn't like her husband, okay? Not the guy she was engaged to, this husband. His name is Graham, and so he doesn't like him. Well, that tells you something when a dog doesn't like you, right? Well, also when she's walking around the house, he does give her a cell phone to call, but she's only got a couple contacts on there. One, her dad, who he says is away on a cruise, and whenever she leaves him a message, he doesn't call her back. And then she has a dear friend who she's been friends with for many years. Well, anyway, this Tess owns a company. Well, her husband, Graham, has now taken over the company because she can't work because every day it's something new. She doesn't remember anything from the day before, except maybe little glimpses and pieces of things, okay? And so the mystery unravels throughout the entire story. And so one of the things that she noticed is that, she can never be left by herself. So when she's gone, he has somebody that is there that does, cleaning, cooking. Also, he, another thing that is he's locked the doors where she can't get out, things like this. So this is kind of what's happening throughout the entire story. It definitely kept my interest. The ending was a little bit confusing though. That's the only thing. The ending was a smidge confusing. It was like an epilogue, but then it went back in time, so I was kind of a little bit confused by that. But it wasn't as twisty as most of her books are. But I still thought it was worth reading and listening to. It kept my interest, and I have to tell you, there's a lot of books out there and audiobooks that really don't keep my interest. The one good thing I can say about most of Freida's books is they get going right away. They don't lag. They don't have a slow point in the middle. They keep you going. Okay, and think about it. If you've written a lot of books, let's say you've written 50 books, not all 50 are going to be 5-star or even 4-star reads. And if you wrote a really good one and then you follow up with another book, that one might not be as good as the other ones. So let me know if you've read it. It's called Do You Remember by Freida McFadden. And I do have a question. If you have read some of Freida McFadden's books, which of her books is your favorite? I want to hear from you in the comments below. That's all I have to say for now. Love you, appreciate you. Hope to see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.